As a kindergarten kid, I was so happy because I'm able to visit grandma's house at the village this school holiday. It's not just my grandmother who lived there. There's also my uncle and my auntie too. One thing that I remember the most when staying at the village is the time I spent with an old man named Saki. He is one of my grandma's neighbor. He doesn't have any blood related to me, but we are close and I call him Grandpa. Sometimes he can act ignorant and likes to annoy me, but I'm not angry because Grandpa Saki actually is a good person. But only after a few days in the village and having occasionally jokes with him, suddenly an announcement was heard from the mosque that Grandpa Saki has died. I, who didn't understand the word dead, go to Grandpa Saki's house, which is only a few houses away from my grandmother's house. But when I arrived, his house was full of people who were giving their condolences. I keep asking to myself, what is that? I try to get inside the house by pushing my small body through the crowd of people, but it just doesn't work. I can only put my head in, seeing the living room is full of people. Sobs broke the atmosphere. I was confused, and I retreat while continuing to find out what is the meaning of that and what happened to Grandpa Saki that his house was surrounded by residents. I walk away, occasionally looking back, until I can see the window of the house from the distance. I purse my lips, running to the window. Unfortunately, however, my little body was unable to see what was inside. I didn't lose hope. I jumped, dangled, while pulling the body in order to see the inside of the house. I was able to get my head on the window opening. I saw a white cloth wrapped around someone's body, and someone was wrapping the cloth around the person who was laying down. I looked around until I got to the head part, right under the window that I climbed. It appears that the left and the right part of Grandpa Saki's head are already wrapped in cloth, but the part of his face exposed, and very clearly, with his eyes still open, I saw Grandpa Saki staring at the ceiling blankly. It was as if Grandpa Saki was waiting for something or someone until he couldn't close his eyes, whether it's a relative or someone he knows. Satisfied that I am able to see Grandpa Saki, I poked my head out. I let go of my hands and go out of the window. Then I went to where my friends were playing, which was far from Grandpa Saki's house, and immediately mingled with the others. The sun is slipping far to the west. The light is no longer visible, replaced by the moon gleam. It's a beautiful night, accompanied by cricket sounds. Night passes till sleepiness overtook me. I yawn and start walking into the room. I lay my limbs on the bed. I can still hear the laughter of my uncle and my auntie who are watching television. My grandma had not slept yet because she was still sitting in the living room daydreaming. I couldn't sleep, not because I was disturbed by laughter from my aunt and my uncle, but I was restless. I kept changing my sleeping position that made me comfortable so I can fall asleep, but I was just unable to fall asleep. I kept doing it until I opened my eyes, and it appeared a white silhouette is standing in the corner of the room. I cleared my vision to confirm what I saw. A person figure wrapped in white clothes was standing there. His face resembled Grandpa Saki, but the blank stare that he gave me is making me scared. Immediately I pulled the pillow from under my head to cover my face. I screamed as loudly as I could. My scream made my grandma startle. She ran to my room. Grandma saw me cowering in fear, with my face covered in a pillow. She asked me what's going on while sitting down and patting my thigh, trying to calm me down. I told her that I saw Grandpa Saki wrapped in white clothes while pointing at the corner of the room, stammering, accompanied by a sob of fear. The granny looked at the direction I was pointing. Then she looked around the room. She didn't see anything out of ordinary, and immediately told me that nothing was there. She calmed me down while continues to pat my thigh. I was surprised and a little bit disbelieved because what I saw was not seen by the grandma. Slowly, I put down the pillow that covering my face and looked toward the room corners where I saw the figure earlier. But apparently, what the grandma said was true. There was nothing there. I breathed a sigh of relief, and that night, I slept with my grandmother. Then, the night after that, the figure of Grandpa Saki wrapped in white clothes never came again. That night is the last time I saw him. Now that I'm an adult, I knew and understand what happened to me. I don't remember it as a creepy incident anymore. Instead, I just think of it as if Grandpa Saki saying goodbye to me on the night of his death.